Regarding the game, I thought we deserved to get the 3 points. I thought for a long spell in the first half we controlled the game. We scored a good goal, had a good time right before half time, and came out in the second half. The second half wasn't as sort of fluid as the first half, and that's a credit to Dungannon. These places are not easy to go to. They're young, enthusiastic, fit, and playing with freedom at the minute, and to get 3 points at any venue in this league is not easy, and they showed that. They hit the woodwork once and they created a couple of half chances, and it's those sort of half chances at these venues that make you very nervous. But no, I thought we thoroughly deserved to win. Some really good football played, a really good goal scored, good chances created, and not many conceded. So that's sort of been happening recently. We haven't been conceding chances, we haven't been conceding goals. We've been creating a lot, and we probably are not satisfied with how many we've scored in recent weeks. So we're working on that. We've got the talent to do it. We have belief in the players that are up there, and we'll start scoring more goals.
And in terms of the group, Hervoy didn't start, Craig Gallagher wasn't involved, Jay Donnelly was on the bench. Is it up to you at the minute to sort of manage their minutes and make them primed and ready for different sorts of games which maybe suit them, or what way are you really managing things at the moment?
Yeah, it's sometimes you have to rotate people, not for the sake of rotation, because it's important to have that communication with each other. Playing together builds a rhythm and builds an understanding, and that's sometimes why when new players join a group it takes them some time. It's the miscommunications between each other, and we knew that signing players in the window and adding players, that it takes time, and we haven't played a lot of football this year. I mean, we're only at 18 games now, but that communication is developing. So if it's not necessary to rotate, you don't need to, but in this circumstance sometimes it becomes necessary. Chris Gallagher took a hard knock in the previous game against Linfield. He was available for the Dungannon game, but we decided he's played a lot of football, been consistent for us, so we decided to leave him out. Hervoy Plum was another decision based on the physical aspects of the game, meaning he's had almost a 9 or 10 month layoff and coming back into football. So, and the other side of it is we have a talented squad. We've always said we've got a big squad here for a reason, and I have no qualms about leaving out A, B or C to put in D, E and F, because they're all talented. I mean, to be able to play Gail Bagiri-Mana and Dale Gorman and Kieran O'Connor, these are by no means replacements for the other. I mean, they're as talented, they're better at certain things, they're not as good at certain, but as a group, I mean, that's a hell of a few to be bringing in, and also Rory Donnelly. So Jay came off against Linfield in the last game with just a calf cramp. So it was one of those ones where he'd missed several weeks through that suspension that he had, and with delays it turned into a few more weeks. So the Linfield game last week was sort of one of the first games back for him. So again, it was a decision to leave him out. But again, the people that are coming in are every bit as talented, and we've got people also on the bench that haven't had a chance in recent weeks. The Jimmy McDonoughs, the Cameron Stewarts, but they will. They're all part of this, and I've no doubt they'll play their part before the end of the season.
On Tuesday, it's the second Big 2 game in a 7-day period. It's something the fans are looking forward to. It's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, the fans always enjoy these games. We enjoy them too. The players are. I don't think they need to be motivated for these type of games. They're going to be highly competitive. We just wish there was fans there, because they are special, and some players never really get to play in them. We're fortunate here that we do have a lot of fans at every game at Glentoran. So, but when the Big 2 game's on, yeah, it's special, and I look forward to it. I know our opponents look forward to it. Players look forward to it, because it's where you challenge yourself. This is no different. But at the end of the day, it's 3 points, and we will win games between now and the end of the season. We'll also likely lose games between now and the end of the season. So if you win, it's an important 3 points. If you don't win, well, you move on to the next one. But we're going into the game tomorrow with a full squad available, and we're ready for it.
And it's another opportunity we're getting to bring one of the so-called top 6 to the Oval. We haven't really had a lot of that this year so far. Making this place a fortress is already a good home form here. It's positive to be getting these big games back to the Oval now.
Yeah, I think in my time here we've played, I think it's 34 home games. and we've lost 3, which is a good return. So we'd like to maintain that, obviously, our home form. But yeah, we had the Ballymena home game called off a couple of weeks ago, and we had the Coleraine home game called off a couple of weeks ago. That was disappointing because it was for the first time this season that we were going to get a run of home games. But it is what it is, strange times. But really looking forward to it. The game at the National Stadium last week was competitive, and we got the goal late, which good time to score. But this game's going to be a cracker, I think. I think it's got the potential to be a really good game. That's all we ask for at the end of the day. You want to go out and compete, show what we can do. They'll be doing the same. They had a good result on Friday night. They'll have had one more day rest, so they should be a little bit more fresh coming into this game than us. But look, that's not a factor for me. Our team is fit and strong and healthy, and we're going to be ready.
And in that environment last week, were you kind of almost zoned in? You didn't really realise there wasn't fans there, or does not having fans there have an impact in a certain way?
It does. It definitely does. I mean, even some of the games we've had here at the Oval, I mean, when we have 3,000 fans, 4,000 fans, but then when the big 2 game when there's 7,000 fans here, it's brilliant. I mean, I've been in stadiums, I've been lucky enough to be in stadiums with 110,000, and you can feel the noise on your skin, because I would say it's sort of like standing next to a speaker. If you've ever been at a concert or a nightclub and you're close to the speaker, you can feel it on your skin. Well, that's sort of what it feels like in those venues where there's 100,000 people. And I would say the atmosphere here, when I've been here last Boxing Day, for example, and there's 6,500, 7,000 people, it's surprising how loud it is. So there's a lot of, the fans are definitely missed. I know they can be hard on us sometimes, but that's what they pay their money for. They're entitled to give their opinion. But I think this season, across the board, this league would have had mega crowds. I think this has been a special year in terms of the quality of football. I think it's the most competitive league. I think that we're all in agreement with that. People that have been in the league a lot longer than me have come out recently and said it's the most competitive league in recent memory. I mean, from what people tell me, I've been away a long time, 26 years, but I remember the days when it was Linfield, Glentoran, and then Portadown appeared and had a great run for a while, and then Crusaders in recent years, and Cliftonville's done well. So it's really was the big 2 for an eternity, and then other teams appeared and did really well, credit to them. But now we've got, I mean, you look from 1st to 7th, Glenavon's only 3 points behind us. We're sitting there, but with 1 win or 2 wins, or you win the 1 game in hand or 2 games in hand, you're right in the mix of 2nd, 3rd, and so that's a credit to the league. It's a credit to the teams that have strengthened, and the style of football, the quality of football has definitely improved in the last couple of years, no doubt about that.
And it just shows you, as you said, how quickly it can change. That not being mentioned at all, and then a few wins together, you're being spoken about in European context, title context. Is that added pressure, or how do you sort of reflect or judge when those comments come in?
No, I mean, the key we have to remain objective here. We're not in the entertainment business, we're in the football business. It's an entertainment business for the fans and the media, so that's where the subjectivity comes into it. I think this and I feel that, and that's what the media is for, and that's what fills the bars and the pubs when they're open with people. Everybody has an opinion. But we can't deal like that. We have to look at performances, we look at our stats, we look at performances, we look at goals conceded, we look at goals scored, we look at who's playing well, we break down the game. And I haven't doubted the players since the start, even when we went through a spell there where we weren't getting the wins, we were getting a lot of draws, because we were playing well in a lot of games. And I knew that the future was going to get better for us in terms of once the players gelled a bit more together and got their rhythm playing together with each other, that there was going to be an improvement. And so as I always say, you can't get too high when you win and don't get too low when you lose, because you've got to prepare for the next game. And if you do that, you're consistent in your preparation, you're consistent in hopefully your performances. Whereas if you get too high when you win, you might say, well, we won the last one, let's take it easy this week. Or if you lose, let's do more. Well, that's not good for players. Players need consistency and know that there's a belief in the process. Whether we're playing the team at the top of the league, we prepare that week the same. If we're preparing for a team at the bottom of the league, we prepare that week the same. And that's what players need to know, that every game's important and it's about the performance. So I'm happy with where we're going. not satisfied, never satisfied, and I know the players aren't satisfied. We've got a competitive group, but so that's how I would say. I've said it before. We're happy, but we're not satisfied, and we're going to keep pushing to try to be satisfied.
And last year you sort of spoken about, you know, one game in a row. Is it almost hard in the current climate to have that mindset? Because in a week you can have, or 7 days, you can have 3 games in such a quick turnaround. Has your mindset sort of changed in the last year because of that and the impact COVID has had on fixtures?
It's still the same. I mean, the one in a row is the way to look at it. You know, I hear other managers using it. You know, it's about the next game, and that doesn't change. So it's the same sort of phrase. You know, one in a row, or it's about the next game. That's all you can prepare for. You can't start looking at, well, we play this team. You know, for example, we play Linfield tomorrow. We play Carrick on Friday night. Well, we can't look at Friday night until we get past Tuesday, and then we assess who we've got, what we've got. Do we have any injuries? Do we have any people we need to leave out? Suspensions will kick in. So it's about the next game, and thankfully it's a good one coming up, and an exciting one, and one we really look forward to.
That's a real testament to where we are at the moment. Like today I was even looking at goal of the month contenders and stuff like that, and some of the goals are just unbelievable. It's a real testament to the group and the squad and yourself when we're still producing that quality in the pitch with the demand of certain games at the moment and the schedule.
Yeah, the players have been working really well in training. You know, there were spells there where we would train all week and then the game was called off at the last minute. You know, I remember one game where we were on the pitch the night before the game preparing for the game, and it was called off during the training session. I think that was the COVID break that we had, for the 2-week break. So it's been forced us to adapt, but the way I look at it now is like, I think if you were to zoom in on every detail of, oh, here we go again, here's another game delayed, a game postponed with weather, COVID, you drive yourself crazy. So something comes in, there's been a delay, there's been a postponement, there's been something with COVID. Well, okay, how do we adapt? How do we find solutions here within the possibilities? And it's forced us to do that, and I think a lot of coaches and teams are the same. So nothing has changed really in terms of that, preparing for the games. We just have learned to adapt to something being thrown at us at the last minute. The players have been brilliant. A lot's been thrown at them. You know, getting yourself worked up for a game and then it's called off, you know, it has become normal for them. So for them to go out and train every day, perform every week, I can't ask for any more.
And the full-time environment, that must be helping, and having players in every day, it must really help the squad and the group when we've got that demand on us. It
does. I mean, the reality is, you know, yes, we're full-time. Most of the players are full-time. But once you get into this situation where we're playing Tuesday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday, you know, you're down to the bare bones of training anyway. It's basically recover and play. The benefit of being full-time, obviously, is our players, the vast majority of them, don't have to get up and do an 8-hour workday at their jobs and then try to play football. So yeah, at this point now, it's not about the training that helps you, it's about the recovery that helps you when the games are coming thick and fast. So yeah, it is a benefit, I can't deny that. But that's why we wanted to move towards full-time, and I'm happy that other clubs are considering. I know Linfield's talking about doing it this coming year. Crusaders has been for a number of years. Lauren, with what they're doing. You may find other investment coming into the league. You may find other teams decide to try it, maybe a sort of a hybrid, some full-time, and some teams just won't want to do it. Even our part-time teams now in the Irish League are training 3 nights a week. A lot of teams are training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So they're up in their game as well. And as I said in the previous interview, where one article appeared last week about how a gulf is appearing with money coming in. Well, to me, that's completely the opposite. I believe there's more parity now. We had teams with European money. We had teams now coming in with investment. And it's created a league. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Look at the league. Money has come in through investment. Money has come in through Europe. And now we have 6, 7 teams, 8 teams, all fighting for those top 2 or 3 or 4 places, you know. So I think the league's in a good place. I think the potential to be better is there, and I'll keep harping on about facilities. We're still a third world country when it comes to facilities, and I'll harp on about a calendar shift, and people will be critical about it, but if we look at it objectively, that our number one goal when you're working in football is to put a better product on the pitch, It's not about I like my summer holidays then, or I'm a traditionalist. Does your point relate to improving football? Then it's irrelevant. So if we say a calendar shift will improve football, any comments that don't relate to improving football shouldn't even be on the table. Your choice of holidays, irrelevant. You know, I'm a traditionalist, irrelevant. Does it improve football? Then it's irrelevant. So there's things we could do here, and I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just saying there needs to be open dialogue to say, how can we improve football here? How can we make it better? Because when we make it better, our product becomes more valuable. There'll be more potential for revenue to come into our league through sponsorship, through TV deals. And one of the key points that people forget, our assets become more valuable. Players. So the days of selling a player from Glentoran or Linfield or Cliftonville to an English club and getting £50,000 and we're happy, that's a great deal for us. Well, no, because in other full-time leagues, the same player going from the League of Ireland is 150,000. The same player going from the Portuguese smaller club is 500,000. These players are not much better than what we've got here, but they're full-time. They're in a full-time environment. So the perception of the buy-in club is we're getting a more valuable asset. No, we need to embrace this right now, make our league as strong as possible. If some clubs are full-time, okay, but the product becomes more valuable, our assets become more valuable, and that money filters down even to the smaller clubs. So the whole league will become stronger, and I think it's an exciting time for the league.
And with the whole COVID-19 sort of side of things, it's perhaps looked at maybe, you know, in terms of investment, there's no fans coming in, or clubs making money, or clubs getting money back. It's the football side of things. The league's that competitive. We've got 6 or 7 teams challenging at the top of the league. Is it really a time for almost more investment, setting out to achieve more, because we can actually take a step back because of COVID and see the potential that the league really has?
I think that's been part of it. You know, I think sometimes when the games are coming and the fans are coming in, you know, you're so caught up with the next game, and the gate receipts, and you know, a normal football season, you get caught up in that. I think it's allowed people, you know, I've even seen in recent weeks some clubs or chairmen or people, officials of clubs, sort of changing their mind on some issues. You know, for example, a calendar shift. One club in the newspaper this week was adamant no. Now they're actually seeing how it could work. So I think it's given people time to sit back and reassess, you know, how do we improve the product here? And like I said, we're not saying that this is the right option, but it's a good option, and it's one that needs to be, let's try it. We can always change back. And so I think COVID has got us to, across the board, coaches be more creative, be more adaptable in terms of dealing with the players and the games coming up. But I think clubs have sat back and said, look, how can we make this more financially viable? You know, I'm glad that it's sort of announced this week that the Sports Sustainability Fund is hopefully going to be dispersed soon across all sports, not just football. So those funds are essential to make up for COVID related losses. So that's great that the executive has decided to do that through Sport NI in conjunction with the IFA. So there's things there that are helpful. Does it need more investment? Absolutely. You know, and there's talk of the sub-regional stadia funding becoming a reality eventually after, I think it's a decade, because we need facilities. We're a small country that needs to do the best we can with development. When you've got a small population, a small country, you've got a small number of valuable assets, which is the youth players, you need to develop them as best you can to produce. And when they get to the higher end, we need to train them as best we can. You can't do that in third world facilities. So I think we've got an opportunity now that if there is substantial investment in football through the executive, through Sport NI, through private investment, through whatever European money's coming in, there's an opportunity where this league could really be flying in the years ahead.
And finally, we got the sad news yesterday about Des McAleenan, a familiar face around the Oval, the Irish Cup and the European Games. Is somebody you were close to as well? Just how do you reflect on Des?
Look, sad to see anybody leave us early. Des was a big part of when we first came in here. He took our goalkeepers through that first pre-season we had just after the takeover in July. and then Elliot obviously moved into that role of player coach, and then Des took a job with the Colombian national team, but because of the COVID lockdowns there was no games going on there, so he worked with us all through the summer in preparing the goalkeepers for the Irish Cup run as well as the European run. So a big part of what we've done here so far, the players got to know him, the staff got to know him. So yeah, sad to see him go. It's been a big part of what we've done here. He'll be missed.